So what up, family? So what we have here is your brother coming at you one more again. Coming at you one more again to ask for your support. What we have here is another internet poser making crazy accusations, and this accusation is centered around that I have been charged and convicted and I am a lifetime sex offender.
Dude, you're a documented sex offender.
Could you imagine if someone put that on your jacket? That's what we call it in the streets or in college. Put that on your jacket. But could you imagine if that was attached to your name? The sad part about it is that I do a lot of work with children. The sad part is that I do a lot of work in the community, and this could potentially tarnish my reputation and my name. And because of that, I have to pursue this legally. The thing is that I have to go all the way to California. I have to make sure I have the proper security because we are dealing with one who is suspected to be among the lettered group of people that intentions are to shut us down. And because this is a fact, I must move in a more secure manner. Now, with that being said, I put up the link to the PayPal. And the PayPal is all about your support in helping me get to California. But if there is an overflow that I can use, the next step would be to use that finance to research and find out who exactly is this guy. In other words, before 1999, the name of this person is really, really patchy. And I mean, like, who runs from what their mama named them, or who runs from a history attached to them that made them who they are? That should be suspect in itself. But because, you can't make nobody tell you who they were before a certain period, only thing that we can do is do the research. And Morse World TV is here to do the research. So after I handle the legalities of this situation, the next step is to hit the road and do the research. Hit all of the key points that make the research make sense. And if you've been watching long enough, you know all the key points and all the key places that need to be looked at and researched. But I think it's of interest of the Morse World TV audience and those who are interested in the reparation process or the liberation process, whatever you choose to call liberation or you identify as liberation, then by all means, you should pursue it in that manner. However, if you are truly pursuing it, liberation or reparations, there will be opposition. And one of the main oppositions will be the ones that look like you, working for those who may not particularly talk like you, look like you, walk like you, live in your neighborhood, so even concern themselves with this type of drama.
Nobody in the history of this planet ever got liberated through entertainers or athletes. Huh? We the only people that sit around and thinking athletes is a bunch of shit, man. And only black folks who ain't gonna do nothing think you're gonna get something out of a goddamn entertainer. Hollywood ain't liberated us, did you?
Therefore, we must break down and find out who's who. And that's why I'm here. I'm here to find out who's who. For the last 4 or 5 years, I've been breaking down who's who on social media, and it's been a success. Once we begin to question everyone that comes before us, claiming that they are leaders for us, then maybe we can do something better for us. Because as long as nobody questions them, there is no need to worry about if they're legitimate or not. You know what I mean? Because nobody questioned them. So if they're legitimate or not, that shouldn't come on the back end. That should become the priority of the conversation when someone jumps out there. For example, when you look at Tariq Nasheed, you look at him coming on the scene, fulfilling the stereotypical idea of what a brother is in relation to women. So he comes out with this album, or I don't know what it is, some crazy type hip hop, where he's doing nothing but bashing, disrespecting, and making a mockery out of the struggle that our people all face. I mean, who makes a song called Wash Your... Like, who really does that? Like, who makes a song talking about welfare cheese, as a priority or whatever? I don't know. But where I come from, that just wasn't music that we listened to, nor that was the music that we endorsed. One of the songs that I know that he was in probably 97, which also is really, really questionable, is That's Just My Baby Daddy.
Ain't no problem. That ain't my baby. Look, when you need to get your finger out my pants, I turn on your chicken head.
He was in that video. And so it lends you to believe that there definitely was propaganda entered into the hip hop community to get us to, or rather introduce us to worthless music that controls the narrative of how our children think. Just my baby daddy. Wash your, like, come on, it's real obvious now that you look back at it. But then you bring it up to speed to the 2000s, and the next thing you know, he's talking about he's a Mac, that he's a pimp, and he's writing this book, and he calling our sister bees and saying that Europeans are easier to get along with than our sisters. He's saying things like, you know, our sisters, the only way that they should get reparations, that if it's a man in the house. Like, just think about that, for example. If sisters have suffered, I mean, quote unquote, black women have suffered through the slave trade by the way of their ancestors and passed down through their bloodline, he's saying that they should not be able to get it unless they have a man in the house. As if their grandmother didn't work in the field. As if their aunties didn't work in the field. Don't make sense to me, but anyway. But the degradation of sisters under the tone of his voice was crazy during the time that he was planning to be a Mac and a pimp. Yet, the moment that he comes out with In Living Color, oh, I'm sorry, it is a joke, but the moment that he come out with Hidden Color, bygones be bygones, nobody looks back and say, well, this guy haven't even reconciled. Nobody look back and say, have he recanted any of these things that he said? Nobody says that. People just start from the point where he makes Hidden Colors and he intermingle it with the MacBook, and then he totally cross over to now being the face of the reparation, liberation, social media organizations, if that's what you want to call it, or social media cry for liberation. Now, let me tell you something. Most people that you see on social media is no more than I'm about to say it, is no more than B and B, bloggers and beggars. What they do is they blog, and then they beg. But they don't have anything substantial on the ground after all the years of blogging and begging. In other words, they don't have a brick and mortar in order to facilitate any of the thoughts that they blog about. And nor do they take the money that they beg for and establish these things. So we have a bunch of bloggers and beggars. This is why I was looking at the reparation movement. I'm like, man, the reparations movement is even worse than what I've seen with the conscious community as it relates to 125th, polite, Sinetta, et cetera. It's even worse than that. Because the reparations movement, at least in the conscious community thing, there was this fake moral code that ultimately at the end became its demise, because none of them was, many of the big faces was never morally intact. And so they begin to cuss each other out. They begin to be so disrespectful that, hey, it just fell apart. And today, it seemed to be holding on by a weird little thread where everybody done dispersed. Now they're talking about magical crystals. They're talking about looking at you and healing. They're talking about standing in the air, levitating. They're talking about healing mountain crystals. They're talking about a whole bunch of stuff. But at the end of the day, regardless of what somebody believe and regardless of what somebody demonstrate, no one should be able to call someone a pedophile, a sex offender.
You're a documented sex offender.
And claim that they're on a lifetime sex offenders registry.
Sex offender, dude. You're a documented sex offender.
when you can look it up. But because you did that, and because he did that, now I'm asking for your support. Please hit this link. Hit this link. I don't care what you have to offer and support financially for this movement to take place. Me going to California and addressing this ASAP. I'm just asking for your support. Very rarely do I ask for your support, but I'm making this video asking for your support because it's me today, but it could be one other you bloggers tomorrow. It's kind of like Cardi B. Although Cardi B, she's a big star. She had millions of dollars and she can pay people that got time to go and address these things. Well, I'm not in that same boat, so I have to address it myself. My plan is to file it and then turn it over to an attorney. That's my plan. And so I'm asking for your support to get me there, to file it and turn it over to the attorney. But the good thing about this is that I'm going to be what you want to call it, documenting every step of it. So also what your contribution is also a contribution. What your contribution will be is a contribution to Morse World TV, because I'm going to document every step of the way. We're going to upload it. We're going to send the first cease and desist letter, the first and only one. We're also going to post it on the website on Morse World TV, and you'll be able to follow it step by step by step by step. Just like my research, I tell a story. I'm going to tell a story on pursuing litigation as it relates to someone claiming that I am a sex offender. Now, I don't take it personal because I know how these detractors do. They first want to shame somebody. Secondly, they want to try to turn the people against them so they don't listen. And thirdly, they want to silence them. That's what it's all about, silence. But I will not be silenced. We're going to call a spade a spade. Anything that I say that related to Tariq Nasheed or any presentation that I've done on Morse World TV, anything. If I'm wrong, I want you to tell me where I'm wrong so I can correct it and I can take the video down. But if no one tells me that the information that I put out is incorrect, then there is no reason to remove it or to correct it. So I'm asking, if you see any research that I put out can be proven wrong, I'm asking you to let me know and I'll take it down. I've already sent Tariq Nasheed. Tariq Nasheed 3 separate cease and desist letters. So he should have gotten those letters by now. Also, I made a video of cease and desist. We know that he got that because he said I wasn't going to do nothing. And he said that I am a sex offender. That's why I'm not going to do nothing. So with that being said, that's enough. That's enough in a nutshell. That's enough in a nutshell to address this from a legal standpoint. Now, in my inbox, I have many of Tariq followers calling me a sex offender. I have many people sending me emails about this. I have many people antagonizing, many people browbeating, many people threatening about these claims. Therefore, I must pursue this aggressively, and I'm asking for your support as I pursue this aggressively. Again, there is no need for one to make up stuff. There is no need for one to try to say things that is not true when the information is available. It's available. You can go online and look it up. It's available. All you have to do is go to the Maryland Sexual Registry. It's available. All you have to do is look at the case number on the case. It's available. So for him to be adamant that I'm a sex offender and refuses to remove it, make an apology, refuse to recant, there's only one recourse, and I'm asking for your help to pursue it. Thank you, family. I'm your brother. I'm the more you're going to remember. But let's make an example that you do not say, or you're not allowed, or you won't be tolerated. It won't be tolerated. Saying things that's untrue just because you don't want people to know what's true about you. Peace, fam. I be that more you gon' remember. I'ma be that more you gon' remember. I be that more you gon' remember. Taharka Bey front line till the law call my number. I be that more you gon' remember. I'ma be that more you gon' remember. That's right. I be there more, you gon' remember. Taharka Bey front line till the law call my number. You a friend of the more,